Hello. It is me. I am writing to you from 1 year in the future. Today is October 28th, 2025. I am sitting here, and I am thinking of you, of where you are right now. I remember this day so clearly. I remember the weight on your shoulders. I remember the questions in your mind. You are looking at the path ahead. It feels long. It feels uncertain. I want you to listen closely, not with your ears, but with your heart. This is not a letter of fantasy. This is a letter of truth. It is a map of the journey you are about to begin, if you choose to begin it. Right now, you feel a little lost, a little tired. The world feels loud and your own voice feels quiet. You see others moving forward and you feel stuck in place. You think that maybe the opportunity has passed. I am here, from this calm and steady place, to tell you a secret. The race was never against them. It was always with yourself. And it is not over. Not even close. 1 year is a beautiful length of time. It is long enough to build a new foundation, brick by painful brick. It is long enough for small, consistent efforts to compound into something magnificent. Yet, it is short enough that the decision you make today matters immensely. The choice you make in this very moment as you read these words sends a ripple across time. That ripple reaches me here, 1 year from now. It shapes the hands that write this letter. It shapes the peace in my heart. When I look back on the year that separates us, I do not see one giant, cinematic moment of change. I do not see a lightning strike or a sudden revelation that solved everything. Instead, I see a series of small, quiet nights. Nights that felt ordinary at the time. Nights when the world was asleep and I was awake, facing myself. These nights were the turning points. They were not glamorous. They were not loud. They were filled with struggle and resolve. They were the moments where character was not revealed, but forged in the silence. These were the nights that built the road to where I am now. There were 3 specific nights that stand out. Each one presented a different challenge, a different form of pain, a different kind of sacrifice. The voice of doubt was screaming, but in those moments, a different choice was made. A small, difficult, and brave choice to push forward just a little bit longer, honoring a promise I had made to my future self. To you. The first night began with the sting of failure. It was not a dramatic, life-altering failure. It was small, a rejection, a project that did not land. This is pointless, it's not working. The easiest path was clear. Close the laptop, turn on the television, and numb the disappointment. But then, another thought emerged, a quiet, stubborn whisper. It was the promise I had made. It said, just one more. Do one more small thing before you give up for the night. It was not a grand gesture, it was a tiny act of resistance. So, with a heavy heart, I did it. I wrote 1 more page, sent 1 more email, practiced 10 more minutes. It was painful. The word that flashed in my mind was commit. A commitment is not just for the good days. It is for this exact moment. That small act did not magically erase the failure, but something had shifted. I had not let the failure have the final word. I had chosen to end the day on my own terms. I had kept the promise. This small act, repeated over and over, became a habit. It rewired my brain. Instead of stopping when I felt pain, I learned to do just one more thing. A quiet seed planted on a night of pain. It grew in the dark. Consistency over intensity. That night, I did not win. I did not lose. I endured, and that was enough. The second night was about sacrifice. It arrived a few months into the journey. The initial excitement had faded, and the long, hard reality of the work had set in. Distractions called to me. The sacrifice was giving up that immediate comfort, the comfort of belonging, the comfort of being ordinary. I sat at my desk, and I felt a profound sense of isolation. I was choosing this lonely room over the warmth of connection. I was choosing the slow, uncertain progress of my goal over the guaranteed pleasure of the moment. The word that echoed in that quiet room was discipline. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Saying no to those invitations was one of the hardest things I had to do. So I turned my phone off. I put it in another room. I faced my work. I sat with the uncomfortable feeling of being alone. I learned that discipline is not about punishment. It is about creating the space for your true priorities to flourish. That night taught me that discipline is a form of self-love. It is the ultimate act of respect for the person you want to become. It is the bridge that connects your dreams to your reality. It is slow. It is patient. It requires you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But on the other side is a new level of skill, a new level of confidence. By sacrificing the easy yes, I was able to give a profound yes to my own growth. The loneliness was temporary. The skills I built that night, and on many nights like it, became a permanent part of who I am. The third night was the hardest. This was not about a single failure or a lonely evening. This was a crisis of faith. I had been committed. I had been disciplined. I had been working for months, and the results were not there. The people around me were starting to show their doubt. Their questions felt like accusations. Their doubts seeped into my own heart and magnified it 1,000 times. I sat in the dark, the weight of it all crushing me, and I asked myself, what if they are right? The temptation was not just to quit, but to erase the entire journey. In that moment of profound fear, when my own belief had crumbled, the word that I needed was trust. I had to trust the process, even when I could not see the proof. I stopped working. I stopped forcing a result. I simply sat, and I breathed. I remembered why I started. Not for the external validation, not for the applause, for the person I wanted to become. I found an old journal entry I had written to my future self. Reading that letter was an act of trust in the version of me who had set the course. I had to trust that the work was working, even if I could not see it. I had to trust that time was a crucial ingredient. I had to trust in myself, not because I felt strong, but because I had promised I would. I did not find a new strategy or a burst of motivation. I found the resolve to keep walking in the dark, trusting that the sun would eventually rise. Those 3 nights were the anchors, but the days in between them were where the real building happened. A slow, methodical climb. It was mundane. It was repetitive. It was the daily practice of showing up, especially on the days I did not want to. There were so many days when progress felt completely invisible. I would look in the mirror, literally and figuratively, see the same person, the same flaws, the same limitations. It is on those plateaus that most people quit. I stopped looking for the giant leap. I started celebrating the smallest step forward. 5 more minutes, 2 more pages, 1 more call. These tiny wins were everything. They were my evidence. They were my proof of life. Even when I felt like I was standing still, I was actually accumulating hundreds of small victories, creating a foundation I could not yet see. My days took on a new shape. I began to rise earlier, not because an alarm forced me, but because the work called to me. I learned to say no with kindness and firmness. The climb did not necessarily get easier, but I became stronger. The city lights seemed a little closer. I was not at the summit, but I was no longer at the base. I was on my way. I could feel the new strength in my legs. The moment of success, when it finally came, did not arrive with a crash of thunder or a burst of fireworks. It arrived on a Tuesday morning. The first feeling was not anxiety or the pressure of the day's to-do list. It was a feeling of deep, profound calm. The work I had been doing for a year had finally settled into a new reality. It felt solid. It felt real. The project I had poured my heart into had found its home. The signal came not as a loud shout, but as a quiet knock on the door. It was an email, a phone call. We see you. We see the work. We are ready. It was the validation I had stopped chasing, and because I had stopped chasing it, it felt different. It felt like a confirmation of the worth I had already built within myself. The word that bloomed in my mind was arrival. The reward was not the end of the journey. It was a signpost indicating that a new, wider road had just opened up. I had not become perfect. I had become present. I had become reliable, first to myself and then to others. I had kept my word. And so, this letter from your future is a promise. The voice you are hearing is not some magical being. It is the echo of the steps you are about to take. It is the result of practice. It is the product of showing up when it was hard. The person I have become is waiting for you. But I cannot pull you here. You have to walk the path yourself. You have to face your own quiet nights. You have to make your own choices when the world is asleep. Do not wait for a perfect plan. Do not wait for a sign from the universe. The sign is this: the time is now. Start with one thing, not 10 things. Not a massive, overwhelming life overhaul. Just one small, simple thing. Make a promise to yourself about that one thing. Keep that promise for a day, then for a week, then for a month. Watch how it changes the shape of your days. Watch how it redefines your edges. Watch how it quiets the noise and strengthens your own voice. Let the powerful words guide you when you feel lost. Commit, discipline, trust, arrival. 1 year from now, you will stand where I stand. You will look back at the person you are today with so much love and gratitude. You will see the proof in the morning sun on your face. You will feel it in the calm of your own heart. You will stand on new shoulders, the ones you built yourself. The sunset will taste of honest work and deep love, and you will be there to see it. That will be more than enough. Now, breathe. Take one deep, final breath. Close your eyes. Make one choice, just one. Open your eyes and do the thing you know you need to do. Do not think about tomorrow. Do not worry about next week. Just do this one thing right now. Your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you build, one small, fierce choice at a time. The person you will be 1 year from now is thanking you for this moment. Do not let them down. Do it now.